Good morning, this is Steve Gladys for Steve Gladys Leadership Partners here at beautiful George Mason Enterprise Center in Fairfax, Virginia. We're talking about bulletproof leadership in this series. We talked about questions, not answers, make a difference, how emotional and social intelligence outweigh any day of the week, IQ. Now we're going to talk about communication. You know what they say about real estate? There's three descriptors of real estate, three important factors of real estate: location, location, location. The same is true in leadership. Communicate, communicate, communicate. We're going to talk about several aspects today. First, you got to be able to speak if you're a leader. And I don't just mean form words, I mean be able to talk to people in small groups and in large groups. We talk about this in great depth in a previous video. We talked about you have to have an introduction to what you're going to say, tell people what you're going to tell them. You got to tell them those things, facts and figures and examples, and then you got to conclude. It's called tell them what you're going to tell them what you told them. In a previous video, you'll see that we've done, you can see this one in particular depth. But speaking, first of all, is really important. Writing, secondly, very important for leaders. Leaders have to be able to convey their thoughts to other people. People's personalities are different, and they require different kinds of communication styles. Writing long, loquacious sentences, for some people, doesn't get it. Writing too terse a sentence, for other people, doesn't get it. We've linked personality and types in a book we called Right Type, a video that you can see previously. Giving feedback to writers, we found is really important for leaders. How do you give feedback to people when they give you a piece of writing? There's a thing we call PQP, which stands for praise first, ask questions second, and then give polish third. So praise, questions, polish is a great way to give feedback to people who send you writing as a leader. And then finally, positive leadership, communicating a sense of positivity. We know changes just about everything in leadership. People who work for positive leaders miss less work, make more money, are far more productive, are happier, work better as teams. Just about every measure that you can measure, just about every aspect that you can measure is intensified by this idea of being a positive leader. Well, we've done a book called Positive Leadership that's been released. It talks about this. The three big things in positive leadership are positive people have strong networks. These strong networks make them very resilient people. So they have strong relationships with people around them, in their families. They have strong relationships with people at work. They have strong relationships with friends that sort of bolster them when they begin to fall. And they're therefore more resilient. Secondly, happy people work in areas that they really enjoy and that they're good at. We found that workers that are working on things that they're good at and they enjoy tend to outproduce other workers. We call it the 80-20 rule. If you spend 80% of your time working in your strengths and only 20% in your deficits or your challenges, you're going to be likely much better off. And leaders that have these deficits should hire other people to complement them in some way, sort of negotiate out those things that they're not that good at. And finally, positive leaders practice positivity, both psychological practices and physical. Some of the psychological practices are writing down what you're grateful for every day, writing down what you're optimistic about, being kind on a regular basis, on an intentional way, and things like that. On the physical side, staying positive means getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, exercising on a regular basis, eating good food and dieting, and all those physical things that keep us strong. So when it comes to communicating, we have speaking, we have writing, we have positive leadership. These are the things that make leaders strong communicators. Strong communicators tend to be better leaders. Thanks very much. This is Steve Gladys from Steve Gladys Leadership Partners, George Mason University's Mason Enterprise Center. We hope you'll pass this video or these links on to people that you work with and that work for others who are leaders in the community. This is Bulletproof Leadership. Thanks very much.